Now, over to debt in Australia. We've seen the Victorian budget today. Victoria's on track to hit over $170 billion in debt in the next 3 years. This is in large part because of the lavish government spending during the lockdowns. Here was the Treasurer, Tim Pallas, today.
Won't be contradicted on this. This has been the most difficult budget that I've had to frame, and this is my 9th budget now, so I can tell you it has been a very long journey.
Opposition leader John Pesutto was scathing.
What today's budget reveals is that Victoria is broke. Life is getting harder under Labor, and under Labor, Victorians are paying the price for Labor's incompetence. This is a budget that is mean. It is nasty. It visits pain on every Victorian. Every Victorian will pay some part of the price.
Ross, what are your main takeouts from the budget handed down today?
It's a good old-fashioned Robin Hood budget. Effectively, what they're doing is saying that the wealthy can pay, that they've made good money through property price rises or business improvements during and after the COVID period, and now is their time to repay the state government back. In fact, they'd almost be doing a part of Anthony Albanese's job in some ways by actually clawing back some of these taxes. The interesting part about this is the increased payroll tax that they'll bring in. This is really, if you like, almost a tax on everybody who employs somebody in Victoria. Even though they've raised the threshold from $700,000, it'll go to $900,000, then to $1 million. In other words, that's the totality of your payroll before you start to pay payroll tax. What will happen is if your payroll is more than $10 million, then you're going to pay an extra 1 percentage point of payroll tax. It'll take Victoria's payroll tax to 5.85%, which, if you think about that in terms of if you're Bunnings or if you're Coles or if you're a big employer, there's lots of them there. The reality is it might be a disincentive for you putting on another worker at a time when really, obviously, there is going to be increasing pressure on the workforce in Victoria.